This video is one of several on graphing, and this is the most basic one of all. I've titled it Excel Graphing on the iPad. It's meant to introduce you to creating graphs in Excel on your iPad, and because that's what it's meant to do, you're going to be looking at how to make 4 of the most basic graphs that are available to you when you're using your iPad Pro in the mode that allows you to create graphs. It's very basic. Hopefully you'll find the instructions easy to follow and will allow you to get started so you're in a position to be able to create professional looking graphs. It would be super great if you could post any comments you have on this video into the comment section below. And if you wanted to see the newer videos as they come out, in the lower right hand corner, you'll notice that there is a subscribe button. And on that subscribe, if you click on that subscribe button and the little bell icon up at the top, it'll put you on a list so that as new videos are posted, you'll automatically get a copy of them. The bottom here shows you the address of my website. The second line, you pretty much have to copy that down and then enter it if you wanted to just look at the YouTube website. So at any rate, without further ado, let's take a look at graphing using Excel on your iPad. This video is going to give you a real quick overview of graphing using Excel. Certainly, if you're in business, many times you're going to want to use a graph as opposed to a chart because it's a pictorial way to get across your message very quickly without forcing people to look at a whole hell of a lot of data. And so let's take a look first at this data and forget about what it's going to be used for. Let's decide that we're going to start out by making a basic pie chart, or that's what we think we want to do. So I'm going to tap on the brand cell. I'm going to drag it across to cover weekly sales and all the way down so that the first 2 columns of data that I have are highlighted. And then I'm going to select in the green menu bar where home is currently selected. I'm going to tap the one next to it that says insert. Now I have a new white bar menu beneath that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change that so that I am going to select charts from this menu. And when I do that, the drop-down menu shows me all the different kinds of charts that I could print, graphs. I'm going to select pie. And when I do that, not only does it show me the template for one pie chart, it shows me actually several that I could use to make my graph. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to just select the one in the upper left-hand corner. And when I do that, you'll see that my graph, a small version of it, is printed. Now, I'm going to grab the corner of that just for the purposes here and make it bigger so it's easier for you to see. I can make it bigger or smaller anytime that I want. I could use a different template if I think that that would be a better way for me to look at the graph. Also, I have the option that in that white menu bar, you'll notice that there is a field that calls for styles. And if I tap styles, you can see that there are several different templates that I might use to display my data. And just to show you, if I tap on the second one there, the graph that I created is now changed so that it is showing the actual percentages for each of the wedges right on the graph. This becomes a matter of personal preference. Whatever you think you'd be the most comfortable with is what you're going to want to use. Now we're going to go through and look at some variations of other graphs that we might create. We're not going to dig into the nitty-gritty and give you all of the whys and wherefores of what you might do, but rather just give you an overview of what's possible when you're using the insert graph on Excel. And so I'm going to start off by moving this down to the lower left-hand corner and clear out the data, so I'm ready now to take a look at a second graph that I might create. Okay, you'll notice that I've highlighted an empty square just to the right of the table so that the first two columns are no longer highlighted. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to re-highlight those first two columns, starting with brand and weekly sales going all the way down to the bottom. Once I've got it there, I'm going to repeat the same things I did before. I'm going to select Insert, Charts again, and this time I'm going to select Column Charts. And when I do that, I get templates for a number of different column charts, and I'm going to take the one in the upper left-hand corner. When I do that, the chart is automatically created, and I'm going to drag it up as I did before, and I'm going to extend the height and actually the width so that it looks a little better. And so now I just have a vertical bar graph showing. It has exactly the same data represented as on the pie chart, but vertical bar charts look differently. One thing to file away is while everything is still highlighted, if you were doing this for a project at school or work or just for yourself, and you created this bar chart first, and you said, gee, I wonder what it would look like if I had taken a pie chart instead, or one of the other charts that's listed, you could certainly put yourself in a position where you've highlighted Insert, and when charts are highlighted, you would select charts from the second row, and then just for drill, I'm going to select pie chart. Take the one in the upper left-hand corner, and you see what it would look like if the same data was on a pie chart, just like the pie chart that I had there before. So I'm going to select charts again and go back to the vertical bar chart that I had. So I'm back where I started a minute ago. So now you've looked at two basic charts. I'm going to take a hold of this chart with my finger and put it alongside of the pie chart that I created earlier. I'm going to select a blank cell next to the table, again, like I just did, and now I'm ready to show you your third kind of graph. I'm going to start out as I've done before. I'm going to highlight the first two columns. When I've completed that, Insert is selected, Charts is selected, and this time I'm going to go down to about the fourth one down where it's a bar chart, and you'll notice that the bars are running horizontally. I'm going to select that bar chart. Again, I get templates that I can use, and I'm going to select the one in the upper left-hand corner. I don't have to take the one in the upper left-hand corner. I'm just going to do that to be consistent. And when I do that, I now have a horizontal bar chart. Same data as in the first two graphs. It looks a little different because the bars are running horizontally instead of vertically. So now I have created three basic charts. I'm going to drag that one with my finger down alongside of the vertical bar chart. And again, all three of these are showing the same data. I'm going to hit an empty square, and I'm going to again highlight the first two columns. And when I do that, I'm going to say to Insert, Charts again, and this time I'm going to take the second one, which is a line chart. There's a couple of different kinds of line charts that we're going to look at in a future video, but for now, just a plain old line chart. And once again, I get a small chart that I'm going to make bigger, show it alongside of my table, and again, this is exactly the same data that is shown in the first three charts. Sometimes it's just a matter of personal preference of which one you think is better and which one you would rather use. Sometimes it makes more sense to pick one or the other. It all depends on what you like and what the purpose of the project that you're working on calls for. So I'm going to close this off now and leave you with some really very basic graphing information. The 4 different graph types that you see on this screen are the very most basic graphs you can create in Excel on your iPad. You will see in future slides that we can do a lot of different things with how we present the pie chart, that there are some specialized vertical bar charts that we're going to go into in detail. One's called a histogram, the other a Pareto chart, and in a future video we'll talk about those. Then the vertical bar chart, and then the line chart that's there. There's also several different kinds of line charts that are available. But what you've got, very, very basic. So see you again in the next video on graphing. Okay, you just watched the video on using Excel to create graphs. This video is really useful when you're trying to put together presentations and you want to use graphical information. And graphs in so many instances are much better than a ton of words. Recognize, though, that this is an introduction to using graphing and creating graphs. And eventually I will have videos on there that give you some more sophisticated tools to create more elaborate graphs with specialized graphics. But for this video, it's important for you to understand the basics and get familiar with using them. Just a reminder to you that there's a clickable link to all of the videos that I have on YouTube on my website. And it's a short address to copy down, this https://iPadlearn.com. And you can go over to their thing and then you'll see that all of the videos that I've posted with a little title of what they are there, and each one has a clickable link. So you can go down the list and click any or all of them that you want, and then watch them at your leisure anytime that you want. Underneath, if you open the full screen on this video, if you haven't done so already, there's a whole area that you can use to post comments about the video that you've just seen. You can also post any questions that you might have about that. If you had difficulty in using this and you need some more help, just post that down below. Now, I'll get back to you as soon as I can to answer any questions that you choose to raise. What's important to me, if you could do it, is for you to subscribe to my channel. And in the lower right-hand corner, underneath the video, you'll see that there's a little red box that you can check to subscribe. Lately, the way YouTube is doing it is you need to have a Google address in order to subscribe to anybody's channels. And if you don't have one, you can create one. And you don't have to switch all your email over to it. You could just use it for getting into YouTube on my channel or anybody's channel. If you take the time to give me the comments, this will really help me to improve what I am presenting. And any other comments you have would also be very much appreciated. If you like what you saw and you want to give me a thumbs up, terrific. If you feel that the videos are lacking, whatever they're lacking, I got thick skin, tell me what's wrong. Tell me what needs to be better that would help you to understand how to deal with the subject matter, in this case, graphing, better. And not only will I answer your questions on a one-on-one basis, I will try my best to get the video redone so that it'll benefit others that are looking at it. So thanks again, and hopefully I'll see you on another video.